In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a personality quiz in Miliastra Wonderland. All of the coding has been handled for you. You just need to write your own questions and answers and follow my instructions to put them in. This video has been made so that even people who have never touched the editor before can still follow along. For this tutorial, we'll be using my level from the Resource Center called Make Your Own Personality Quiz #CreationCamp, and it'll be by Kiru aka me. So once you're here, go ahead and click Download Resources. Before we get started, you'll need to unlock custom text in Miliastra Wonderland. To do so, go to the Miliastra Wonderland Creator Center and hit Join Now and log in. You'll need to verify your identity with a government ID. Once you logged in, you'll notice that you're level 1 and custom text unlocks at level 2. To level up to level 2, you just need to do 2 short quizzes based on the introduction tutorial videos for Miliastra Wonderland, as shown here. Once you complete the quizzes, you should be level 2, and now you'll have access to custom text in Miliastra Wonderland. To make your own personality quiz, you'll need to write up your own questions and answers, and give each answer a value based on how you think it would affect their score. The way I like to keep track of it is with a spreadsheet that has all my questions, answers, and the potential outcomes that a player can get in my quiz. For the sake of this video, we'll be using What Enemy Faction Are You as an example of a personality quiz. And for this quiz, I've chosen the outcomes Fatui, Abyss Order, and Eremites. In the game, the player will be presented with the question and have access to each of these 4 answers. When the player selects an answer, let's say Sunny, it will increase the player's score for the corresponding outcomes. So in this case, picking Sunny will increase my Fatui score by 3, my Abyss Order score by 1, and my Eremite score by 2. These particular values are chosen arbitrarily as an example, so be sure to consider how each of your questions and answers will affect a player's score. Make sure you decide early on how many outcomes you want in your personality quiz. At the end of the quiz, based on whichever score the player had the highest, a pop-up will appear showing the player what outcome they got. So make sure to also write some flavor text for this pop-up. We'll copy and paste this into the game later on, but for now, I put for Fatui, the title will be You Are a Fatus, and the body of the pop-up will be For the Tsaritsa, May Her Will Be Done. Back in game, go ahead and go to My Miliastra Wonderland. Go ahead and click Import Save. Make your own personality quiz from wherever you've stored it, and hit Open. Let's go ahead and edit. You'll end up loading into the editor. To look around, hold right click and move your mouse, WASD to move, Q and E to go up and down. At the very top, click on the star to open the combat preset, click on Player Template, Edit Player, click on the Components tab, hit Custom Variable, Advanced Editing. A lot of stuff will pop up, but we only need to worry about player score. This is the section that will keep track of the player's score to determine what outcome will be assigned at the very end. Next to player score, go ahead and hit the plus symbol. Let's add in a name for one of our outcomes, starting with Fatui. Now let's go ahead and add that for the rest of the outcomes. Be very careful with the spelling here, as we will be referencing this later on, and a typo could create some glitches. Now go to the top and hit Advanced Data Management. This will bring up a template for how the score changes for each of your answers will be stored. Next to answer 1, go ahead and hit the plus button and add in your outcomes. Ensure that these have the same spelling as what you put in the player's score variable. We won't be setting the actual score values at this moment. Now go ahead and do the same thing for answers 2, 3, and 4. You can use Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V to ensure that your spelling is consistent. Once you're done, go ahead and hit Apply All in order to save the changes. You can now close this window. Head on over to the Entity Placement tab and find this orange balloon known as the Variables host. Make sure not to delete this as it has a lot of important information we're going to be using. Click on the Components tab, hit Custom Variable Advanced Editing, and a bunch of custom variables will pop up. Go ahead and do the same thing as before and add your outcomes to the Outcomes Titles, Outcomes Bodies, and Second Outcomes Bodies. Once again, ensure your spelling is consistent. These variables will store the flavor text for the pop-up that shows our outcome. Let's go ahead and do that right now for the Fatui. Copy over the title and put it into this box right next to Fatui in Outcomes Titles. And we'll do the same thing for the description. Second Outcomes Bodies is in case you run out of room in First Outcomes Bodies. Just keep in mind that there is no space between those two, so you might want to put one right here. Next, let's go ahead and add in our questions. Go to the top and click on Manage UI Control Groups. Then go ahead and click on UI Control Group Library. Right away, this example question will pop up and it comes with all the pre-tuned settings that we'll need for our personality quiz. Go ahead and click on Example Question under UI Control Group Details. Hit Control-C to copy it, and then in empty space, hit Control-V to paste it. Now that we've made a copy, let's go ahead and turn it into our own question. Click on the drop-down menu, and then click on Panel. On the right over here under Page Settings, down by Deck Selector, go to Title Text and input your question. Let's do, what's your favorite weather? Then, to change your options, go up to Option Configuration tab and go down to Deck Settings and hit Edit Details. This will bring up a little menu that lets you modify each of your answers. The deck icon lets you pick what picture is going to show up with your answer. The deck title will be the answer to your question, and you can optionally put a description right below it. And these tag colors will determine what color the answer is. Let's go ahead and personalize this a little bit. Once you're done, go ahead and X out of here. Oh, and make sure to hide any previous questions right here, and you'll see your question as it'll look in the game. Go ahead and click on your current question and click on Save Template at the bottom here. Name your question. We'll call this Q1. Hit Confirm, and it'll show up at the top here under Custom Templates. Once you've done that, go ahead and click on where it says Q1, and then click over here on these boxes to copy the index number. Now let's minimize the UI manager. Back on the custom variables for the variables host object, go to where it says master queue list, and there's already a value here for the example question. Let's go ahead and replace that with the index for the question that we just created. And if we want to add any more questions later on, hit the plus symbol and we'll put that index number right here. Once you've done that, go to the variable called deck index to structure and hit plus. Then also paste in your index number here. Once you've done that, go to where it says answer values and hit the little edit icon. This brings up a menu where you can edit the score that each answer is going to give you. So if you remember for this question, what's your favorite weather? Answer 1 was sunny, and I wanted it to give you 3 points for Fatui, 1 point for Abyss Order, and 2 points for Eremites. So let's put that in. 3 points for Fatui, 1 point for Abyss Order, and 2 points for Eremites. Now I'm going to add in all of my values according to the spreadsheet that I made earlier. Once you're done, go ahead and X out, and you've now successfully added that question to your personality quiz. Let's go ahead and add the next question. Go back to Manage UI Control Groups. Now that we've added question 1, let's go ahead and hide it by toggling the initial visibility without hitting Save. That way it's out of the way while we're working on other questions. Let's go back to the example question, hit Control C, and then on an empty space, hit Control V. Now with the copy, open the drop-down menu, go to the panel, and under Page Settings, copy in our question. What is your favorite time of day? Under Option Configuration, let's go ahead and set up our options. Once that's all been set up, go ahead, X out of here. Click on example question right here that you are working on. Click Save as Template. Let's name this Q2. Hit Confirm. And then make sure you're not on the panel. Copy the index number for Q2. Minimize this. And let's add it to our master questions list. Then we add it to the deck index to structure. Hit the edit, and let's put in our values for this question. Now just go ahead and repeat this process for every question that you want to add into your personality quiz. Once you've done that, go ahead and go back to Combat Preset, Player Templates, Edit Player, go to the Components tab, hit Advanced Editing under Custom Variable, and scroll down to the Target Questions variable. This will determine how many questions your player needs to complete before the quiz is finished. You can set this to be the same as the number of questions that you've added, or you can set it to something lower than that value, and the player will receive a quiz with a random assortment based on the pool from the master questions list. For now, since I only have 5 questions, I'll keep this at 5. If we go back here to the entity placement screen, there is an object over here called the Quiz Length Picker. If you go over to the Components tab, if we go down to where it says Tab, there's a list of options that'll show up as a button on this object that players can press if you want them to be able to select the length of their quiz. If you only want there to be one quiz length, go ahead and ignore this object. But if you want your players to be able to select their quiz length, go ahead and click on None under Initially Effective, and then select the options that you would like them to be able to pick. Once you're done with that, go ahead and drag it into the room where the quiz is going to be taking place, and you're all set. Now that everything is set up, let's go ahead and see what it'll look like for the player. At the very top left, hit this button and hit Test Play. It'll compile everything for you. Go ahead and disable Enable Cosmetic Display Phase and disable Test Play Settlement, and hit Start Game. This is what the player will see when they load in, so let's go ahead and begin our test quiz. I set it up so that the questions are in random order, and the first question always gives me the most Fatui score, so let's do it that way for now. And once they finish, they get a little pop-up telling them what their outcome was. They'll go ahead and exit out of that. Now they can begin the quiz again, or they can go ahead and head to the exit, and that'll end the game. Once you're satisfied with your personality quiz, go ahead and click on the top left and click on Save Management. This will pull up all of your levels. Go ahead and right-click on the currently open one and hit Upload Save. If nothing happens, just do that again. We're going to upload a new stage. Stage update submitted. Please wait for review. You'll want to hit Submit Now. Just go ahead and X out of this. Under Preview Info, you'll want to hit the Edit button. And here you'll give your stage a name. You'll also upload a thumbnail. Put in your description. Under Stage Tags, make sure you hit keyboard and mouse, touchscreen, and controller. And I like to give it the party tag. Once you're done with that, you can add in any screenshots you want or showcase video optionally. You'll hit submit, and once you do, the preview info will also be under review. It usually only takes about 5 minutes to get both your stage and your preview info reviewed and verified. Under the worst case scenarios, I've seen it take up to 2 to 3 hours, but those are exceptions. Once these are all green, you'll be given the option to go ahead and publish your stage. And once that's done, click on this and that'll copy the stage ID. And now anybody with that stage ID can look up your personality quiz and play it for themselves. The rest of this video will be going over extra features that you can add to your personality quiz. If you want the player to be able to see what scores they got for each of the outcomes, go back to the UI menu and let's go to the interface layouts. Bring your mouse down to Layout Details and click on Custom and click on Results Page. For the time being, let's set the initial visibility to on so we can see what we're working with. Don't touch what's inside of these brackets as it's going to be replaced with the values that we put inside of outcomes titles and outcomes bodies. After the outcomes bodies, we have \n, which creates a new line. So let's go ahead and put in the Fatui score right now. We'll write in Fatui score, colon, and then we click the Insert Variable button, go to Player themselves, and go to Player Score. Then, since we're doing Fatui, next to where it says Fatui, hit plus, and that puts the variable at the very end of the quiz right there for them. Now let's put a \n here to do a new line and add in the rest of our scores. Now that we've added this in, go ahead and turn off initial visibility and hit Save Changes, hit Confirm, minimize Manage UI Control Groups menu, and let's go ahead and see what this looks like in-game. And there you have it. Now the player can see their score. If you want your player to be able to skip questions, go back to the Manage UI Control Groups tab, head over to the UI Control Group Library, and go down to your question. Click on the drop-down menu, hit Panel, and then on the far right, under Page Settings, scroll down and click on Selection Can Be Canceled to enable it. Then make sure to save this change by going back here, set initial visibility to on, hit Save Changes, hit Confirm, and then we can hide this again. Make sure to do this for every one of your questions, or if you haven't added your questions yet, then when you copy paste them over to make a new question, it'll save your settings right here at the bottom. Now that you've enabled the option to skip questions, you can also make it so that skipping a question changes certain values. Go ahead and minimize this and head on over to the variable host object. Go to Components, Custom Variable, Advanced Editing, and there's a variable here called Canceled Values. If you want, go ahead and hit plus, and you can make it so that skipping a value will actually decrease your Fatui score by 1. And the convenient thing about this is that you don't actually need to add all of your outcomes here, just the ones that you want to change. Now in the test play, you can see in the bottom there's an option for the player to cancel selection, which will effectively skip the question. You'll notice that this prefab also comes with a little room for you to take your quiz in, and if you want, you can also decorate this room to suit your needs. Now, by default, in this level, all of the enemies are going to be friendly to the player, so I don't need to worry about them attacking or anything. As you can see, there's a lot of options here that you have to making this level truly your own. So I encourage you to explore it if you want. And that should do it. If you have any questions or run into any issues, feel free to DM me. And if you want to know what the end product can look like, go ahead and search up "What's Your Vision" on Miliastra Wonderland. My level should pop up as it's on all servers, and you can go ahead and give it a try. Alright, thanks for watching.